Hi Flosstube, and welcome to this video. My name is Anna, and I'm here to talk about cross stitch. Today is Friday, April 1st, 2022, and it is officially spring here in Colorado. Well, it was officially spring a while back, a couple weeks ago, but finally things are starting to turn green. The grass is starting to turn green. I'm pretty excited to have some things coming up in the yard. I didn't know if they would make it through the winter. I dug up some plants from my grandma's house last year and then brought them here and planted them. She lives in Kansas and I'm here in the Denver area in Colorado, so there's like a one zone difference in gardening zones. So I wasn't sure they could handle the harsh winter, but I'm excited to see that I have daisies and daylilies coming up. So that's very thrilling. And, our yard is kind of a blank slate, so there's a lot of mud, and any spot that I can start to fill in a little bit at a time is great progress. So I'm excited those are coming back in. I don't have much of a life update. I thank you everyone who left a comment congratulating me on our wonderful news. I announced in the last video that we are expecting a baby. I did not mention when. Our baby is due August 1st. So we still got a ways to go. We're right around 22 weeks, so just over halfway there, and it's already feeling like there's not much more room to grow, so we'll see what the next few months have to bring. But anyway, thank you guys for the comments. It was really nice to receive all those congratulations, and it's an exciting time for us and sort of preoccupied with that these days. So in this video, I'm going to wrap up what I stitched on in March, and then I will announce the winner of the giveaway from my last video. And then I have some plans for April, and I have a few things that I picked up from 123 Stitch and I won a giveaway. So I'll show you what I got in the mail since my last update. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and get started. I'll start with my Prairie Schooler. I started for Mania in 2020. I started 20 of these little monthly Prairie Schoolers. I have Prairie Year 1 and 2. And so this month I worked on March and I finished it. These are pretty small for me, small projects, but there's still quite a bit of stitching. They're deceptively big. Like I think I could finish them really quickly and then it just takes a bit longer. So I will show you March. So it's very cute. I would say that this month of March it probably came in like a lion and out like a lamb, just because the last few days have been so mild and sunny. We did get some rain, which was very welcome. We go weeks without precipitation here, and so rain is very good for the grass and the plants. The beginning of the month we had some snowstorms and some bitter cold. So yeah, and I have the other one for March that I finished. I don't remember when I finished it, but it's already finished, and what is the word I'm looking for? Not stretched, not stitched. It's already on like mat board and it's been tightened around it. One thing I've noticed about being pregnant is that very simple words are just gone. So there's a word when you frame it yourself and you stitch around the back and tighten it up, and I'll remember it probably in a few minutes and blurt it out. But anyway, this one is fully finished. This one is ready to get fully finished. But for now, I'll put these away and I will get out April for the month of April. So in the past, I finished this one for April. And then this is kind of getting into plans already, but there's another one for April is this rabbit here. And when I started this for Mania, I did not even get one whole length done. So this is how far I am. Hopefully I can finish this up in April, and then I'll have 2 little prairie years for April. And so after finishing the lion and the lamb, I now have 12 fully finished, this one fully stitched, and I have 7 left. I'm hoping for a finish pretty soon on all of these. So yeah, I'll show you the back really quick. I like seeing people's backs because some projects are messier than others. I think prairie schoolers are really easy to follow the pattern, so it's not so messy, but you can see that I don't take much care on the back. Like these stitches, I was not very efficient with my threads. These ones are in more of a pattern, and then, you know, in here, like sometimes I go across, sometimes I go up and down. It just kind of depends on where I want to go with my thread and how many stitches I think I can get from that length. So yeah, I like this one. I really like the effect of the lion's mane. I did add brown for the eyes and the snout, I guess, of this lamb, because in the preview they have like a neutral brown color coming through, and on this gray you really just couldn't see where the eyes were, and you really can't see now either, but it was just a little bit better. So happy with that one. And these are all on 14 count Aida of different colors. That was my first project that I worked on in, well, it wasn't the first one I worked on in March, but it's when I finished in March. So got that one. The main project I worked on in March was my Mareshka kit. I started with the hair. So this is the one that I started with, but I do have other ones from this series, and I'd like to stitch all of them sooner rather than later. So I spent a lot of time stitching on this one, and hopefully I can show you a picture of where it was last time you saw it, because I think I stitched on it last month too. Nope, it's still in the hoop, so let me pull it out of that really quick. Anyway, one of the reasons that I worked on this so much, and a reason I want to work on the others, is because I want to hang this in the baby's nursery. So typically I don't put a lot of pressure on myself to get something done in a certain amount of time. I just stitch because I enjoy it. But I think it's realistic to get this done without too much pressure, because this is how far I got this month. So maybe I can do a side by side on where I was before. Let me take these off too, because they're kind of heavy. Okay, so last time I was working down here somewhere. I think I was in here somewhere on the rabbit, on the hare, and I was working through here. And this last month I was able to work all the way across the bottom, across the center, hit the other corner, and start working up. So this flower, maybe if I see people use things to hold it up, let's see if that helps. It's kind of curly. It's better though, I think. Okay, so this flower marks the center of the chart, so I'm well past that. And then this is the other corner, and I've started coming up here, and then the center this way is like through here. So I'm almost through 3/4 of the chart. Now the rabbit's ears come back across the center line a little bit, so it's not, this page is not officially done. And there's also a couple of butterflies here, and then there's another butterfly up here somewhere. But that's, for me, that's a lot of progress. This kit is really nice. It's really nice to work on. There are not that many colors, and this is really nice linen that I'm stitching on. Let's see if I can find what it is. It's on 32 count Belfast linen in the color flax. And it's really nice, and the threads slide through really nicely. So anyway, the chart is easy to follow. I can pick one color and there's plenty to stitch with that one length without having to jump around a lot, and I can cover a lot of ground with these big patches of green especially. So see if I can move my things and show you again what it's supposed to look like. So I've made quite a lot of progress on this one, and that is why I think that I can finish it before the baby comes and get it framed. Maybe frame it myself. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm enjoying working on it, and it does make me want to stitch the others. Even though the other ones in the series are the same color palette, like, I might get tired of the same colors. Like I have this one, the pheasant. I think it's different enough that it'd still be enjoyable to stitch them. So I feel like my camera is getting darker and then lighter depending on what I'm doing. So hold that up. And yeah, I want to put this in the baby's room because, well, this room after I take all of my stuff out, because we're going with like a forest theme. So a lot of greens, a lot of browns, and a lot of like North American forest animals. So yeah, that was where I did most of my stitching, was on that one. But I did work on two other projects. So I'll pull those out. I worked just a little bit on my Dragonfly. This is a We Beasties pattern, from Pangea. It's a Professor Frisbee's Wondrous Strange collection of We Beasties. These patterns are out of print and they're hard to find. They're very expensive on eBay. I picked up a few of them at an estate sale way back when we first moved back to Colorado. I was still very much a beginner stitcher, and these patterns are tricky, I think. So if I pull it out and get any work done at all, I'm happy with it. And I do plan to stitch them, and I think now that I've had more experience, they are a bit easier, but they're still challenging. I have to be able to focus on what I'm doing. So I'll show you a before picture, but I'm not sure it'll show you much because I just worked on the wings some more, which is non-existent without the backstitch. So there I am. I probably have one more length of each color. There's the basically clear sparkly Krynic, and then there's like the rainbowy Krynic. I think I have just one more length of each of those, and then I'll backstitch the wing. So that's very exciting. And then that's one of 4 wings done. But I did get a chance to sit down and work on this section here. Maybe. But the whole thing is really sparkly, a lot of blends. But once you add the back stitching, like down here, it's really, really impactful. So I like that a lot. And this is the one that is also supposedly in flax, but it's a different color. So I don't know if this happens all the time or if one of these is mislabeled. I don't know. Point is, if I want to do any more of these, I'll probably just take this in and get the right color to match it. So, yeah, that's my Dragonfly. And then the last thing that I worked on was a new start. I said last time that I was going to start this, and I did. And it is Peter Rabbit. It's from this book, Green Apple Co., The Tale of Peter Rabbit. I don't know, this is one of those that I picked up at an estate sale, I think. But I started with this one that's on the cover here, And then I'm also planning to do this one where he's squeezing under the fence. So I started it. I decided I would try this one using the color completion method. So I picked a color, and then I did that whole color through the whole chart, and then put the color away, and then I picked another color. And after about 5 colors, I realized that I could be taking progression photos. So I started doing it then. I didn't take a picture after every color that I completed, but I did take a few pictures. So I'll show it to you, and then I'll show you the color progression. So this is how far I got. This project really reminded me of the power of small projects. A lot of my stuff is huge for me. I have no plans to finish it, within the year. But things like this just go so quickly. So this one is on 16 count Aida. And then the other one I'm going to stitch is going to be on 14 count Aida because the stitch count is much smaller, and I'd like to put these in similar frames. But anyway, here's my needle minder. And yeah, hopefully I'll insert here just a quick slideshow of the few photos that I did get. I got a stray magnet there. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot left to this. I tried to choose colors that had a lot of stitches, and so now the framework is here. It doesn't require a whole lot of counting to just pick the next color and stitch it in. So that's what I'm doing. There's a little bit of backstitch to do. I guess actually looking at the cover, there's quite a bit of backstitch, but it's just kind of like an outline. So once I get started with a thread, it will be easy to go through it. And there's a few little details like the bird's beak and the end of the carrot that I'll have to count more. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with the start on this one, and I feel like I can get this one and its companion piece done pretty soon, if I keep it out for April especially, but we'll see whether that happens. So, be a rabbit. So I guess I can show you the back of this one too. Again, I just kind of go where the thread takes me, and I run my thread under things or carry it across if I know I'm going to stitch over it. So it's not the neatest back, but I also think it's not that messy. I just like to see how people carry their threads and what their stitching style is, like whether they go up and down or side to side, because you can see that on the back. So yeah, pretty good start on that one. Whew, that is everything that I stitched on in March. So I'm coming to realize that 4 projects in a month is a good number. I'm liking this method of choosing which projects I'm going to stitch on and then stitching on just those. I can always go in and pull something out if I get tired of them, but if I choose a variety and they're in season, then 4 projects is enough to keep me occupied, and then those 4 all get quite a bit of progress. So I'm happy with that method so far. Okay, so I will go ahead and announce the winner of the giveaway, and then I'll go into my plans for April. So for the giveaway, last time I asked you guys to leave a comment on the first flowers to come up in the spring in your area, and obviously there was a lot of repeats, but a lot of daffodils, crocuses, and then a lot of snowdrops, which I don't have any snowdrops, but I do like them. I think they're precious, with these little white flowers. So maybe that's something that I can plant this fall and see whether they do okay here. My front yard, last time I mentioned I was waiting for my crocuses to come up. They are coming up now, but there was a bit of a stumbling block that was entirely my fault. I've mentioned before that last fall we had a landscaping company come and tear up all of our front lawn and put down a rock border and mulch. And then over the next couple of years, we're planning on planting native plants with an irrigation system just to cut down on the amount of water and the amount of labor that our front yard takes. When this company came, they put down mulch on our existing bed up by the house where I have bulbs growing. And I did not tell them that there were bulbs there, and they put down weed guard on top of them. And I knew that they had done this, but then I forgot to cut it out. So right after my video last time when I was talking about how they're still not coming up, I went outside and discovered that I had not taken up the weed guard the way I had meant to. So I raked the mulch back and I pulled up the weed guard and I cut, just like a 1.5 foot deep area along the front of the bed where I knew I had these bulbs. And sure enough, there were some really, really sad looking attempts at flowers underneath the weed guard. So, oopsies. But I raked the mulch back over, and now they're flowering, and everything that I had planted is starting to come back up. So I'm glad they survived, and I think that I got them on one of the last days that I could have saved them. So there are a couple of hyacinths that are kind of rotten, but otherwise they're fine. And yeah, that's something that this winter and spring I've not been using my planner. I've been focused on other things. Typically, if it occurs to me, I will jot it down in my planner as something that I need to do. And then, every month I'll sit down and I'll move things into priorities for that month. And I just need to get back into it for the yard because things are happening. Anyway, all of that to say, thank you for leaving a comment about your flowers. My crocuses and my daffodils are coming up, although my daffodils might be the smallest daffodils I have ever seen. I don't know if it's the climate or the bulbs that I planted, but they're tiny. They're really small flowers. So anyway, people who entered, there were 13 entries for the giveaway. Oh, and what is it we're giving away? I'm giving away this piece of Ada thing from Dying for Cross Stitch, and it's 18 count Ada in this really, to me, kind of wild pattern on here. So out of the 13 entries, the winner is Sarah B87. So Sarah said that first in her yard, or in her area, not necessarily your yards, the first to come up are daffodils and tulips. So it's exciting. My tulips are also coming up, but they're far from blooming. My daffodils are already open. So congratulations, Sarah. I'll leave a comment on your comment, and then we'll connect Instagram or some other way, and I will get this in the mail to you. And then if you've won a giveaway from me in the past and you haven't received it yet because you're international, I will take that package to the post office and inquire whether I can send it yet. So thank you for your patience on those. So congratulations, Sarah. Okay, plans for April. So right now, the method I'm using is every month I'm pulling out the projects that I have started in that month in past years. I don't have any of those for April. So it's kind of like I don't know. Now that I'm in this rhythm, it's hard for me to choose what to use, what to pull out. So I think I'm going to keep working on the hair. I'm going to keep working on my Prairie Schooler because I'd like to finish that. So the Prairie Year for April. I will probably keep out Peter Rabbit. We'll see. If I want to change anything up, I might pull out my another Prairie Schooler, Birds and Berries, which I forgot to grab. But if I do switch to another project, it'll probably be that one because it's springtime. I just recently saw a group of cedar waxwings in our juniper tree. I don't think I've ever seen those in person, or if I did, I didn't know what they were. They're beautiful. They're a lot smaller than I thought they would be, but they were beautiful. I know there's a couple people on Flosstube who have a section for birds. I've got a bird feeder and I've got binoculars. I go hiking, so I'm always looking for birds. That was pretty exciting sighting for me, seeing those cedar waxwings. Anyway, in addition to that, those projects, since I don't have any that I've started in April, I've decided to start something new in April. Even though I just started Peter Rabbit as a new start, and I'm at 17 WIPS, works in progress right now. I've decided I'm going to do another one. And also at the beginning of the year, I did a little parade of projects that are kitted up and that I want to start this year. This one is not in there. So going off the plans a little bit, just to start this project. So let me see if I can. I have a bin over here, but as I pull things out, the weight is shifting. And it's crinkly. Okay. So the project I'm going to start is from this magazine. This is Just Cross Stitch, October 2021. No, yes. October 2021. This is what the front looks like, and you can see I've got several projects. The orange ones, the orange flags mean that it's for fall or for Halloween, so I'll show you the ones I flagged out of this magazine after this if you want, if anyone is interested in seeing that. But the one that I've decided to stitch is this one. It's called Northern Lights. The design is by Barbie Laux. I have no idea how to say that. It's Laux of Twisted Willow Designs. And that's my cat wanting to leave. Just a few minutes. Anyway, because of that Peter Rabbit project and other things, I've decided that I should start, if I'm going to start something in April, it should be smaller and it should be simpler. So even though this was not on my list of things that are already kitted, I do have fabric for this, and most of it is just DMC 310 black. So I'd like to start it. I've decided that, so this is stitched on 14 count slime hand-dyed Ada from We Will Die For You. I'm not going to do this. I think it's beautiful and misty and kind of spooky. But I've been looking for a project to stitch on this fabric that I got at a thrift store. This is from Fantasy Dyed Fabrics. It's okay, she's gone. It's 32 count Jobelin, and it's got like a real like morning sky or evening sky feel to it, I think. So it's beautiful, but it's long and skinny. This particular project would only take half of this. So that's what I'm thinking. Like that. With this black on it. Like this. Don't have enough hands. So that's my plan. And then another thing that I've been wanting to do is put a poem on a project. And I don't have it. I'm not going to try to read it from memory. But I do have this alphabet album, something I picked up somewhere pre-owned, a little worn out. But there's a very simple alphabet on the back here that has lower and uppercase letters. So I'm going to try to chart just the first verse of this poem and put it on here in this open space. So that's my plan. I will definitely tell you guys how it goes, and we'll see whether this black turns out to be more of a bear than I thought it would be. And hopefully it looks good on this fabric that I have. And again, it's only going to take up half of it, so I'll still have a piece of this beautiful Jobelin to stitch on. So just real quickly, if you guys are interested, I'll show you the other things I flagged in this magazine. Of course, I flagged the cover photo because the Enchantress is so pretty. I don't have any fancy ladies But I think that this one is a little more approachable. Just looking at the pattern and the detail on it, I think it's manageable. And I like the colors. Orange and purple are kind of Halloween colors for me. Another one that I have flagged in here is this really simple little Country Kitty sampler. I think I would stitch it without the alphabet. Again, as just a small project that is seasonal but manageable. And then this blackwork leaf I flagged in here. And then the last one that I flagged in here is this Halloween time sort of spooky cat. I don't know if I would do the whole border, but the cat definitely would be fun for Halloween. So there's other projects in here, but those are the ones I flagged out of this magazine. If you guys are interested, I've seen this for sale on like those stash unload sites before. So there's a lot in here that I think there's potential in here. So that was my plan for April. Last thing, I've been doing a lot of talking this video, so it's pretty long. I did order some things from 123 Stitch. I typically buy my things pre-owned, used, because there's just so much out there, it's so cheap, and I've got a lot of things. So I don't know what happened here. I think I just felt like spending. You guys ever just feel like spending and you have the money in the budget for it, so you just do it? That's what happened. So I got another one of these kits. I got I think it's called the Fawn. It's a baby deer. I don't see the name. Oh, Little Fawn. Again, it's the same style, but all of them have different foliage in the same color tones. So again, it's the full kit. The only one I'm missing from this series, I think, is the fox. And when I went on to order this, it was out of stock on 123 Stitch, so maybe I'll still get it. And then I would be happy if they came out with more. Like, I'd really like a raccoon or a bear. Maybe some more birds, I don't know. But I've got plenty of them now. So I got that one. I also got Country Garden samplings. This is the Songbird Garden series. A lot of people on Flosstube are stitching these. I finally just bought Simplicity. I was in a spring mood, and right now preparing for the baby and like setting up our registry and stuff, this concept of simplicity I'm trying to use it as my compass on things. You know, so many baby things are so complicated. Like, for example, a baby swing. I don't need a swing that has 100 songs and sounds and connects to a phone app and all of that stuff. I need a swing that swings. So simplicity has been the word lately for me with trying to find what will work for us. And again, I know that with babies, the baby could just hate it, so end up getting something else. But anyway, this is out of the series. I like this one. There's a couple others I have on my wish list, but Simplicity was speaking to me the most right then. And the last thing I got was this kit from RTO. And it's this it's a ladybug flying on a dandelion seed. It's so cute and it's so small. So again, I'm just thinking smaller is better. Like, the kit has just like a couple of strands of each color. So I got this. It was like $12 on 123 Stitch. So I grabbed it, took it off my wish list, and we'll see whether this will be a new start at some point soon. Lastly, I want a giveaway. I typically don't enter giveaways because I watch people's videos weeks after they publish, or months even, and so I just don't even bother commenting on their video. But for some reason, I was all caught up and I was watching Kathy, the Crafty Cat Stitcher, and she was giving away a chart that she has stitched before, and it's this birds of a feather, no bees, no honey. And I just love it. I loved seeing Kathy stitch it, and then I just like the sentiment of it. It says no bees, no honey, no work, no money. This is something that I could put on my office wall and get a little motivation for work. You know, it's hard working remotely. It can be hard to self-motivate and stick to what you're supposed to be working on. So a little motivation will go a long way. So thank you, Kathy. And I'm excited to kit this up and get started. Again, it's not small, but it's also not huge. So I feel like it could be on the short list for things to start. So that's all the things I have, I believe. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'm going to try to come back in about a month. Dog's barking. I'm going to go. Thank you guys for joining me, and happy stitching. Bye.